Okay, so that wasn't a very dramatic intro or anything. But anyways, so I'm starting off by putting a bunch of white. This is going to be the base of it. I'm using my NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, I believe. This would work way better with regular face paints, but I didn't have any and I really wanted to start on the Halloween stuff. But yeah, definitely try to use face paints if you have any. My skin was very dry, so you'll see this like crusting up on my forehead. I guess it kind of gave me more of a skull effect, but yeah. I painted my whole face with that NYX Jumbo Pencil and then blended it out with a sponge. And I went over my eyebrows because originally I was going to have my eyebrows kind of popping up and I didn't want them showing, but I ended up coloring them in with black. Anyways, so then you're gonna outline your eyes. I kind of was using a bunch of pictures to reference them. You could use my picture, you could use any pictures you find online that you might like. Basically just kind of exaggerate your eyebrow and arch your brow a lot to give you that kind of like angry look, sort of. So that's what I did, and then I just connected everything and just drew everything in the way that you see it here. I kind of felt around my face and just drew on top of the hollows that I already have on my face, like where my sockets are. And just a tip, try to use a smaller brush than I did. I started with this brush and I ended up switching it out later. So yeah, just use a smaller brush. It's gonna make your life so much easier and it's gonna look a lot smoother than the way mine originally came out. I ended up smoothing it out later, but I mean, still. And then for the front of the brows, I kind of messed up and I wiped it off, but anyways, just kind of do like a weird little angry thing here, kind of like when people get mad and they have really big eyebrows and they kind of like go in, I don't know, but just do what I'm doing here and then just kind of flick it upwards so that it's not a harsh line at the end. And then I just kind of sharpened everything up everywhere else. That's what I'm doing here, and then I connected the lines there in the inside and started coloring everything in. And of course I would use the smaller brush to color everything in. Very smart of me. Use the bigger brush to color things in. It'll go by a lot faster, although this took me like 3 hours. Anyways, so yeah, just connect everything, color everything in, do the same thing on both sides. And just smooth anything out that you might see that you don't like, just as I was doing. If I messed up, then watch me dance. Oh, and what I'm using to color, I didn't even say what I was using. I was using a eyeliner, a gel eyeliner, and it was actually kind of dried up, which is why I had a little bit more of a hard time. I was using the Maybelline gel liner. I don't know what it's called, but the Maybelline one. It's a tiny little tub of it, and that's what I was using. So maybe try using actual face paints and then setting it with black eyeshadow. I don't show myself setting it with black eyeshadow, but set it with black eyeshadow. And then here, just so I get a super smooth lines, I used a liquid eyeliner and then colored it in with a gel liner. But this is the nose. For this look, I kind of wanted everything to be uneven, just the way like an old decayed skull is. So I made one nostril up higher than the other purposely, and also right here, I actually ended up extending the nose downwards, and it kind of stopped recording there. So yeah, but this is how it looked after I did that. And you can see my forehead crusting up there. Anyways, I also outlined a couple of things here. I outlined the jaw, and I kind of slow-moed this to see if maybe you can follow along there. But I mean, it'll show later on, so you guys can follow along there. For the teeth, all I did was outline where I'm gonna want my teeth to be. So I just created these little lines. I did like 6 teeth on each side, including the ones that were on my lip. So like 4 outside my lips and then 2 on my lips, or 3. Okay, I probably did more than 6. I don't know. Or I'm doing the math wrong. Anyways, and then for the lip area, I did draw on where I wanted them. And then for the rest of the teeth, I drew in the actual tooth. So for the most part, I kind of drew on the actual tooth instead of just drawing lines connecting the teeth, because I wanted the teeth to look like if they had gaps and like they were old teeth. Like I didn't want them to look like your perfect little teeth that everyone might draw on everyone's faces because it's easier. Anyways, and then I draw on the actual tooth, like the shape of the tooth that you're gonna want, because it gives it more of a gap in between the teeth, and it also makes them look more realistic, I guess. I don't know what the word is I'm trying to use. And then at the top of the tooth, just create little triangle stuff. You don't have to do this upside down triangle thing that I did on some of them. I did it to make it look cracked and like weird and like old, but you don't have to. You could just do the one that I did on that other tooth. But yeah, just kind of do this triangle thing upwards, but just flick the eyeliner or the paint that you're using so that it kind of fades out. I had a hard time doing my lower lip because it was so dry, and instead of putting on some chapstick, I just kind of went with it. But as you can see, the gaps are going to be really big because my eyeliner just kind of went all over the place because my bottom lip was so dry. And I did the same thing with the bottom lens. I first made the line on the actual lip, but for the rest, I just drew on the tooth. As you can see here, I'm drawing on the actual teeth, or tooth, whatever. So that's what I did, and I'm not too sure if I'm explaining it correctly, but basically just draw the teeth out instead of just drawing lines that would connect teeth together, just to give it more of a decayed look. If you want to do it the other way because you want the teeth to look pretty and perfect and all that, that's fine too. Like I said, you can use different reference pictures. This is just the steps that I took to achieve the look that I created. Anyways, so let's fast forward a little bit, and I did draw on all the teeth, creating that triangle thing at the top of the teeth, or the bottom of the teeth, depending what side of the mouth. And I will go in later and then just make it all look more realistic with blending and everything. But for now, I'm just coloring in all of my gaps with the eyeliner, and then I'm setting it with black eyeshadow. So any black eyeshadow you have, just so that it doesn't go everywhere, all over the place, or will it crease? Well, it might crease, but not as easily. Anyways, here, instead of coloring it into where the teeth were, I kind of blended it into the teeth. I liked the way that the brush strokes looked, so I just left it. See right there. And then here, I'm going in and filling in all the gaps that I had where the teeth were, and in between the teeth, where the gaps are in between the teeth, I colored it in, and then I just let the brush kind of fade into the rest of my skin. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right or anything, but yeah, just the way you see it is the way I did it. Just kind of flick the brush, I guess, so that it kind of blends into the skin. And then just fill in all your gaps. Any gap that you have, you don't want it to be white because that's just not the way it should be. That's just not the way it should be. But yeah, just do that and blend anything out that you might want to blend, sharpen your lines, do anything that you feel is necessary to make the look the way that you want it to look. So yeah, then this is the way I looked, and it stopped recording, by the way. Sorry, I forgot. And all I did was added little creases to certain areas, and I added the hollows on my forehead, on the temples of the forehead, and I added little creases, as you can see here. Ignore that face I just made. The way that I make the shadow on the crease is by drawing the initial shape that I want it to be, so the line like I did there, and then I turn my brush over a little bit and tug on the skin slightly so that it blends into the rest of the skin. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but just the way you see it on the video is the way that I did it. Yeah, just tug on the skin the way that I'm doing here until it's blended fully, or blended to the point where you want it to be blended. Maybe you don't want it blended, you don't have to blend it, but I did want to blend it. So I did that to all the creases that I created, and basically I just put creases wherever I felt was necessary. So just put creases where you want them. You don't have to do the exact same ones I did. Anyways, I did on the other side, but on the other side I added a little different line on there just to make it a little different from the other side. And yeah, I just blended all the creases that I had out, and I sharpened the cracks that I created on the forehead. I guess I got so angry, I frowned so hard that I cracked my face. That's what happened. Anyways, so I blended everything in. And then I started doing this weird thing. I kind of wanted to make myself look angrier, but I actually didn't end up loving it. So I erased it and then just did this, which I ended up loving. Just create a line in the middle of the forehead and then blend it out completely, like as messily as you want, because the point of the line is for it to look like a natural crease or indent in the skull. And then I used a picture of the human skeleton to create the neck. It's not super accurate, don't get me wrong, but I just kind of wanted to see the shape of it and where everything connected and everything. So you can do that, or you can just see what I did. So I just followed my natural collarbone area, and then I just drew in the neck stuff. For the neck, it's just a couple bones stacked on top of each other and then little bones sticking out on either side of the bone. I colored them in white, and then I colored in as much as I could black. My eyeliner was so dry, the brush strokes stayed on it, which is why it doesn't look super dark and black. And then I decided the bottom of my head should probably be darkened. So that's what I did. And then this part is kind of important. It's up to you if you want to add it, but I think it adds more dimension to it. Just add little lines to the bones on the neck and little shadows, and then blend them out just as I did here. It just gives it way more dimension and makes it look more intricate and I guess artistic, I don't know. And yeah, just color everything in like that and you should be done. Yay! Again, to the dramaticness that I had with the dramatic song. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, bye!